collecting, accumulating, all that's going on. And out of that river comes the expression or the manifestation of the one that is lost. When the mediums, seances, all those, say your brother, your uncle, your wife is here, what has happened is they have manifested themselves out of that stream, which is the continuous consciousness of struggle, pain, unhappiness, all that. And a man who has observed and has looked at the consciousness and empties it, he doesn't belong to that stream at all. Then he is living each moment anew. Because he is dying each moment. You understand?
Oh, yes, I do. Yes, I do.
There is no accumulation of the me which has to be expressed. He is dying. Every minute, living every minute and dying every minute. And therefore in that there is, what shall I say, there is no content. You follow, sir? It is like a tremendous energy in action.
This gives a totally different understanding of what we mean by the phrase, in the afterlife. On the one hand, there is this continuity in disordered content of consciousness.
It's totally disordered.
Which is not radically affected qualitatively with respect to its nature, simply because somebody has stopped breathing for good. No, it's on its way.
On its way.
And therefore, the attempt that is often made on the part of persons to contact this stream of consciousness after the death of a person, when made within the same quality of consciousness, attains nothing but a reinforcement.
Yes, that's right.
Within their own personal life.
That's right.
And it does a terrible thing to that content of consciousness which has gone on, since it also feeds that some more.
That's right. Like
yes, I do see that.
A person came to see me, and his wife was dead. And he really thought he loved her. So he said, I must see my wife again. Can you help me? I said, which wife do you want to see? The one that cooked? The one that bore the children? The one that gave you sex? The one that quarreled with you? The one that dominated you, frightened you? He said, I don't want to meet any of those. I want to meet the good of her. You follow, sir?
Yes.
The image of the good he has built out of her. None of the ugly things, or what he considered ugly things, but the idea of the good which he had culled out of her, and that is the image he wants to meet. I said, don't be infantile. You're so utterly immature when you have slept with her and got angry with her. All that you don't want, you want just the image which you have about her goodness. I said, and you know, sir, he began to cry. Really cry for the first time. He said, afterwards, I have cried when she died. But the tears were of self-pity, my loneliness, my sense of you follow, lack of things. Now I'm crying. I'm cried because I see what I have done. You understand, sir?
Yes, I do.
So, to understand death, there must be no fear. The fear exists and the terror of it exists only when the content is not understood. And the content is the me. And the me is the chair. You follow, sir?
Oh, yeah.
The thing I am attached to. It is so stupid. And I am frightened of that. The bank account, the family, you follow?
Oh, yes. Yes, I do.
So, unless one is really deeply serious in this matter, you can't incarnate now in the deep sense of that word. And therefore, immortality is in the book, in the statue, in the cathedral, in the things I put together, by thought. That's all field of time.
Right. It just occurred to me what a terrible thing we've been doing so often, over and over again, to Plato, by this perennial attempt at academic analysis of the text, when he plainly said that the business of the philosopher, by which he didn't mean the analyzer in this mad way that we have been observing it goes on, the business of the philosopher, namely the one who is concerned with
wisdom,
a radical change and rebirth, which he associates with wisdom. The business of the philosopher is to practice dying. To practice dying. Yes, he I don't think he meant routine, repetition of die. I think he puts it with an ing, because of this. Because he doesn't want to fall out of act. I know I use this phrase all the time, but it came to me early in our conversations, and it seems to say for me what I want to say. I have to say I learned it from you, though I don't want to put the words in your mouth. But it's possible to fall out of act into the terror and the demonic stream of time. But when one is in act, the whole thing is an ongoing movement.
So, sir, time has a stop.
Precisely.
See the beauty of it, sir. And it is that beauty which is immortal, not the things which thought has created.
Right.
Huh? So, living is dying.
Right.
And love is essentially dying to the me. Yeah. Not the things which thought has said, this is love. Love, sex, love, pleasure, you follow all that. It is the dying to time is love. So, living, love and death are one thing, not divisive, not separated, not divorced, not in the field of time, but it's completely a living, moving thing, indivisible. And that is immortal. So, now most of us are educated wrongly.
How true that is.
From childhood we are never taught to be serious. From childhood we are taught the cultivation of thought. Cultivation of thought and the expression and the marvels of thought. All our philosophies, books, everything is based on